And we're live. And not only are we live, but we're back in action. A Place for Humans podcast. Hello. Hello, Earth. All the beautiful creatures waking up and going to sleep all around the world. Strange little animals. Humans. And also other things that are out there. The planet is weird, and here we are. Whatever life is a lot stranger than whatever we think it is. So, today's episode, we will be talking about what I've been up to the last few months. I have been living in Mexico with some shamans, with a maracame, and with a shipibo maestra, a very powerful ayahuasquero, Misael, and Maestra Justina right here. Been living with these guys for basically since December. I was living with Maestra Justina's family when I was in Peru. And this podcast is just a little update. So before we jump into it, I would just like to give a quick message from our homies and sponsor of this podcast, Skillshare. Do you have any skills? You might have a couple of skills, but you probably don't have them all. Well, Skillshare is a place, a database of information, a well of spectacular skills where you can learn to become a new human. New improved humans are being built every day over at Skillshare.com. And you can use my special Dakota of Earth Skillshare link, which will be in the description below, to get a free trial of premium skills. You know, it's that premium pack of skills over there at Skillshare. So, look at your life. Think of all the areas that you're pathetic in, that you could maybe could change a little bit. You know it, I know it, the whole world knows it. You need some better skills. So, Skillshare.com, whatever it is that you need is there. You know, I'm into the weird stuff. I like casting spells on people, doing a little voodoo, stabbing a doll with someone's face, cutting their hair. All this stuff is also available at Skillshare. Anything you can think of. Witchcraft, taxes, Photoshop, it's all there. And it's all waiting for you over at Skillshare. Now let's get to the podcast, baby. Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of A Place for Humans podcast. With me, Dakota. That's my name, and I host A Place for Humans podcast. And I've been living in Mexico for a long time, and now I'm back in the United States. I'm here back in the podcast space for those of you guys that are watching on YouTube. It's been wild. I was working at a ayahuasca center for a little bit, which was super interesting because it wasn't only an ayahuasca center. It was actually more of this what is they call a spiritual center. But it's all in the context of ancestral shamanic journeying. All the methods that are provided to people in the retreat as a gateway to spiritual awakening have some sort of tried and true culture and tradition behind it. Aside from the 5-MeO, that was also offered 5-MeO to smoke 5-MeO. DMT, and there are traditions that use 5-MeO, like in maybe Brazil or something like that, but those are like they blow it up your nose with a seed, I think, yopo maybe. But the thing that was very interesting for me about this living at this ayahuasca center, which for one is like this. It's basically a village within itself, the center, like the retreat area. like the kitchen and like all the little rooms where everyone stays and the different areas like ponds. It's really super beautiful. One of the most beautiful places I've ever. Like if it was a hotel, you would, it'd be like a super beautiful hotel. So this was in Yucatan in Mexico, maybe 30 minutes into the jungle outside of Izamal, which is this in Mexico. Mexico has what's called magic towns. All over the country, Mexico has these magic towns, Pueblo Mágicos, where they hold some sort of significance culturally, or there's like it's like Mexico's own sort of UNESCO. It's a way of saying something of historical importance happened here, or there's some sort of cultural significance in this area. And it's a way to sort of generate tourism to these areas. But Izamal is one of these, and it's like this yellow painted town, really small. People are like riding on horses, and very colonial. Big church. There's pyramids there, Mayan pyramids. Church from the Spanish. And so this place I was staying, this hacienda that I was staying at, was back like I think 600 years ago, a French colony. And the French had, done some sort of business with the Spanish, and they got this big plot of land, which we were doing ceremonies on. And they were making ropes, and they were making different things that, different of what could be utilized in the area. I think rope was the biggest thing that they were making, and they actually enslaved the Mayans. And just outside my room was the slave quarters. And the slave quarters are actually just like this sort of square entrance under the porch. It's like a dungeon. And they said that's where they used to keep the slaves. And apparently you would become a slave not through just sort of you're a slave and you're sort of handcuffed and stuff, but it was more, they said it was all about debt. You became a slave via debt. I don't know what that means, but that's what I remember them saying. And I mean, it's very interesting to think of just all the stuff that it must have happened in this place I was staying. It was like 600 years old. Fast forward, here I am, I'm from Detroit in the United States, which is very far from Yucatan in Mexico. And all these people from around the world are coming here to do these ceremonies with peyote, with mushrooms from Oaxaca, and with ayahuasca, with the Shipibo shamans from Peru. And it's just such an interesting thing how time just continues to go and all the different things that happen. But the interesting thing about living here was that I got to live with all these different shamans, and I was watching these shamans interact with each other, and they would join each other's ceremonies. Like, for example, I don't know where else in the world there's a Shipibo shaman, a real legitimate Shipibo shaman from deep in the Amazon jungle, who was raised basically as a healer, like a real jungle healer. Before technology, before most of us that are watching this or listening to this were born, Maestra Justina, the shaman I was living with, the maestra I was living with, this woman here on the wall, she's like a legitimate shaman. And then we had Maracame Don Juan. He is a legitimate Maracame from the Wiraika tradition, the peyote tradition, or what they call peyote hikori. And actually, the Shipibos don't really call ayahuasca, they call it uni, I'm pretty sure. Uni. And, ooh, that sounds so much better, right? I feel like we had, I don't know if you guys could heard the static I was hearing, but it was my phone. I moved it away. So, hikori and uni, ayahuasca and peyote. I don't know. It's just cool. It's just cool to take ayahuasca with a peyote shaman, with a marakame, and just see a shaman from the Amazon jungle take peyote with a marakame. It just must be so strange to them. And these are like older people, mostly. Like Marakame is definitely a little bit older. Maestra Justina is, she's a grandma, so I think she's 63, which is not so old, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know where else in the world you can experience that. It's very very beautiful to see these cultures meet each other. And just to see the power of indigenous wisdom, to see the power of earth wisdom, the fact that you can take a combination of plants and have such a spiritual experience that your life changes. I've seen it. That's, it's so interesting. Well, my job here at this center was to help the shamans with whatever they needed. Or people with whatever they needed. They need me to change their puke buckets. They need someone to sort of talk to them for a minute. The shamans need me to go and get them some water, or they need me to move a candle or something, whatever. And I seen people come in totally discouraged, totally sort of last resort, in these sort of positions, maybe with drugs or sort of emotional issues. And they'll just be like, I heard about this. I tried everything else. Here I am. I don't even know what to expect. I don't know anything about Shipibo ayahuasca. I don't know nothing about peyote. I just heard that this stuff helps, and here I am. I mean, week after week, people like this came from the United States, from Europe, and yeah, I mean, you see them the first couple nights, maybe they're like, oh, it's just not working for me. It's just not working for me. And ayahuasca, what people talk about ayahuasca as if it's a cure-all pill or something. I drank ayahuasca and now I'm enlightened, or I'm now all my problems are gone. People talk about it like that because maybe sometimes it does work like that, but from my experience, it's not normal for that to happen, and it's more of a process. And it's actually like measurable in a way. Like ayahuasca cleans you out. So especially for people that are there for 2 weeks, like their first week of ceremonies, they're puking. They're not having any crazy visions or anything like that. And they're always like, man, it's just not working for me. I'm not getting no visions. I'm just sitting here hovering over my puke bucket. And then the next week, after they're cleaned out and they've been eating very healthy at the center, then it's when it all happens, It's when the insane soul journeying, adventuring happens. And I see them completely turn around. I talk to a lot of them still, and this stuff really does help people. And week after week, people talk about meeting spirits, meeting dead relatives, going into their past, seeing into their future. You see like people have exorcisms basically sometimes, where you see people fall in utter reverence, like sort of something you would expect to see in a church or something, you know, people just bowing and, you know, clawing their hands into the earth just because it's all holy. And I've had these experiences too. So I know how real they are for me. So when I see other people having it, I can recognize it. And I'm just like, oh, they're there. Yeah. So, I mean, that's basically what I've been doing in Mexico, is just at the center, Arcana. I really loved it, actually. That was a very, I mean, it's a priceless experience to live with real shamans. And not that they didn't talk to me much, you know. You know, they're kind of just in their own world. And Maestro Justino is usually making clothes, like making designs. You see, like this beautiful thing behind me right here. This is a Shabibo tapestry. So she would be making stuff like this in her spare time. You know, I'd walk past her room and she'd just be sitting out there in a little chair. Just, I don't know, what's that called? Knitting? Just knitting some patterns. And Don Juan was just, he's just kind of a quiet guy, just super interesting. I actually, I have, you can see a little Erotica artwork here. This here is a little offering, a sacred offering. It's got like candles. Looks like it's got like a maraca, like a shaker for music. It's got the peyote right here. And here I got a little bit more. So they, the Eroticas do this beautiful bead art. And this is peyote here with the sacred blue deer. Pretty cool. It's like a necklace that people wear this kind of stuff during ceremony. I think I did wear that during ceremony. Here's my ceremony bracelet I would wear. So I would help Marakame with the fire. Me and my friend Pete, we were the firemen. So we would all night from 10 o'clock until like 6 in the morning just keep this fire going all night. Just, you know, eating peyote and, you know, Marakame singing his songs in his native language. People are, you know, crying or laughing or just intensely staring into the fire. And there was meteor showers every night. And sometimes there'd be big ones. And towards the end of the ceremony, and throughout the ceremony, actually, we're playing music. And it's kind of like it's like a hippie kind of, and I don't mean to demean the ceremony because this powerful things do happen during the ceremony, but there's moments where it turns into this kind of hippie jam fest and everyone's playing music and they're singing Hindu songs and you know, whatever. And a big meteor came one day. One day we were singing Shri Ram Jai Ram, which is basically saying victory to God. You know, victory to God. Shri Ram Jai Ram. And as we were all singing it very intensely, at the end of the night, a giant meteor just flashes in the sky. It's like, oh my God, how is this real? But yeah, all the time there was meteors. And actually, interestingly, the Yucatan in Mexico is where the meteor struck the earth that killed the dinosaurs. So it's a cool little fact. Here's another thing. This was personally made for me. It's got some snakes on it. It's got corn on it. It's got the sun and peyote on top of the head. It's a jaguar. And it's a wooden carved jaguar with little beads individually placed to make the colors and the designs. Another Wirarika form of art. Very, you see this kind of art in any territories where the Wiraricas live, or what the Spanish people called the Huicholis. Yeah, I love them. Out of all the artistic cultures in Mexico, which there is tons, Mexico is one of the most artistic places on earth, and one of the most shamanic places on earth. There's living shamanic traditions in Mexico still, and yeah, I mean, it's really beautiful. And the Wiraricas are my favorite as far as artistic expressions go. They make the coolest art, and not only is it the most psychedelic and the most unique, but it's just genuinely very, very cool. And just all throughout Oaxaca, beautiful art all throughout Oaxaca, through the Zapotecas, the Mazatecas. Lots of good art in Mexico. Chiapas, you get lots of amber jewelry. Yeah, every region of Mexico has got its own thing going on. And obviously the artistic bones of their ancestors are still there, like all the different runes. There's runes in every direction. You know, you can stumble into the jungles now and just find undiscovered runes. I did that, actually. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'd call them undiscovered because people know they're there, but they're buried. No one has unburied them, so I guess they're sort of undiscovered in that kind of way. But so, I mean, there's tons of things to see in Mexico still. It's a very, if you're from the U.S., they don't really teach you about Mexico. What they teach you about Mexico is that it's like Cancun is where you go for spring break, and other than that, it's all cartels and dangerous and sort of like a poor slum country. And I don't know if anyone in Mexico knows that this is kind of the way that the projection of Mexico, but it's definitely false. Mexico's insane. Mexico City super cool. Oaxaca City super cool. Cancun is not that cool. Tulum is not really that cool, but those states are cool. Quintana Roo is cool. And like all the cenotes. And so anyways, I'm a big fan of Mexico is basically what I'm trying to say. That's what's up in my life, boys. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. Oh, I was taking medicines a lot. Taking peyote every time I would join the ceremony. We had Mazatec curandera that would do mushroom ceremonies twice a week. I'd help her, and I had the most intense mushroom ceremony I ever had, the last ceremony. Jesus. It really was the craziest mushroom. And I took such a small amount. I was like, I'm just going to take this little amount that way, because I get real connected during ceremony, and it's just like, I don't know, you're just super in the zone. It's a incredibly strange experience. And yeah, it was super powerful for me. That last one, the mushroom was speaking to me. If you hear people, these people that do these huge dose mushroom experiments with themselves. I took 10 grams of mushrooms alone in the dark, or whatever. These wild people that you find on YouTube. A common theme that they report back is that there's you break through the colors and everything. The colors, the shapes, and the sort of melting feeling. This is the waiting room to the other side. To I don't know what's on the other side. It's an entity is on the other side waiting to see if you have the patience to break through. And then when you break through, for me, the way you break through is through breathing, through focus, through meditation, through not trying, you can't get too lost in your thoughts, because the more you get lost in your thoughts, the more you are lost in your thoughts. You need to be completely present so that you can just get into this spaciousness. And in this spaciousness, an intelligence appears, and it starts off so innocent. It starts off in such a way where it's like it's like trying to lure in a toddler or something. You know, it shows you these really interesting things, these colorful things, and you're looking at it and you're like, oh. And it's very obvious that it's trying to communicate with you. And I do personally believe that there is an intelligence within the mushroom that you can communicate with through this strange symbiotic relationship of eating the mushroom and sharing genetics in this kind of way. I don't know if it's because ultimately we are a fungal creature, you know, that we ultimately, if you trace the evolutionary timeline back far enough, that we come from mushrooms, that when we ingest it in this sort of way, that, you know, maybe it's showing us the billion-year timeline of knowledge available within our DNA. It could be that. Or it could be that you are really, that this is an intelligent creature, the mushroom is, and the way it spreads itself, like anything, is through being eaten, you know, like a seed, you know. The idea of the intelligence behind plants is that you eat it, you know, you feed it to cows or whatever, cows poop, and then it spreads itself this way, you know. This is an evolutionary built-in survival mechanism that lots of plants that have seeds have, or like trees, you know, they fall and they have, some of these trees have these mechanisms like those helicopter seeds where they helicopter themselves around, or like the dandelions where they blow themselves through the air. So what I'm trying to say is that nature is intelligent, and the mushroom is the oldest being on this planet. And so after it starts showing you all the sort of trivial things that it just to sort of capture your attention, it starts getting philosophical. It says, look at this. And it'll show you something about your past, maybe. And it'll say, it'll show you, it'll make you relive a moment. Maybe something when you were younger, someone said something to you. And it's maybe something you didn't even remember, but it was hurtful. And it stuck with you, and you didn't realize that you were carrying around this ghost that's just sort of echoing you in discouragement. Because, you know, it became a personality trait, that a defense mechanism in your personality that you now have built up because someone said something that hurt your feelings once and you didn't know how to process it because you were little. You know, these sort of things are pretty normal to see with the mushroom. And then you start working yourself out in the same way that ayahuasca cleans you out. The mushroom does the same way. It sort of cleans you out in a spiritual kind of way. The emotional clutter that you hang on to, it helps you reevaluate these negatively ingrained experiences that we've had when we were younger, that we had in our lives, and that we carry with ourselves. The thing is that we don't have the proper understanding of ourselves to be able to intelligently sort of rationalize our insecurities, maybe. So what I mean is that a lot of people don't really realize that their insecurities are not real. That these are identities and belief systems that we've taken on, maybe through other people being dickheads to us, or through our own sort of like culturally indoctrinated belief systems, like, here's the standard of beauty, $12.99, and you can look like this with this lipstick, or like, big fat asses all over the place, and oh. And what I'm trying to say is that, like, we have this cultural beauty standard that gets pushed, and and if you don't live up to that cultural beauty standard, you feel a little like left out. And this is intentional. Obviously, this is a psychological war. This is actually, check this out. You want to know what the real witchcraft is? Witchcraft is not this sort of cartoon, cauldron, bubbling green woman. Witchcraft, sorcery is language. And this is the perfect example of sorcery. So a spell, this is why it's called spells, is because somebody uses language to spellcast a illusory, symbolic world, a linguistic hallucination over the real world that they want you to see because it benefits them and gives them some sort of power. Does that make sense? So there are businesses that intentionally make you insecure. They give you this gap that isn't actually really there. This is some, like, for example, they provide a cultural beauty standard that's photoshops, unrealistic filters, and it's not, you can't look like this really without getting plastic surgery, which people do. And so they provide this standard, which then creates a hole in millions of people. Oh, I don't look like that. This is what all the guys want. I don't look like that. This is what all the girls want. I don't look like that. This void of lack of self-confidence, I guess, becomes created. And then they offer a solution. They say, here, fill that void. Buy this product. Buy this product. Give me power. You're giving this. Do you see what I mean by a spell? So they cast this spell onto you through symbols and through language. And they say, oh, you have a void because you're not perfect. It's psychological warfare. And then they say, but we have the solution. Buy this product. And through buying this product, it's an exchange of energy. It's because you have to work. You have to work to make money with your life force. You are exchanging your valuable life, temporary life on this planet Earth as whoever you are. This is your one time to exist with these family, this friends, and as you, with this stuff that you're interested in now. This is your one time to experience this cosmic strangeness of the universe as this. So, to get money, we exchange that in the form of labor, in the form of creativity, whatever. And in that, exchange of our life force for money, we give that money to these people that are psychologically fucking with us. You get what I'm saying? Can I get a witness? That's real. That's some real sorcery. Politics, culture itself, these are all linguistic hallucinations. That's why everyone around the world believes something different. Everyone has their own worldview. And even more like a microcosm, every individual person has their kind of worldviews. But most of them are culturally sanctioned. which is a spell. That's why we're all living in different spells, and these spells that we believe in usually benefit the people at the top, the sorcerers at the top that are saying, the propagandist. Again, it's language. This is what spells mean to me. This is an example of real spells and real sorcery, is completely stealing people's energies by spell binding them to this illusion that they are sort of not worthy enough, and that their worthiness can be purchased through the people that are telling you that you're not worthy. God, it's brilliant, actually. Like, hands off to these wizards and their Illuminati shrouds or wherever they are at in the Vatican, drinking baby blood or whatever they're into. Yep. What were we talking about? How did we get on that? Anyways, I don't know, dude. I feel like everyone's just jealous of me, dude, because I'm like the lead singer of the band, dude. And it's like everybody's got a fucking problem with me, dude. Some of you guys are probably too young to know my sick references. Oops. I didn't mean to click that one, but yeah, so I mean, that's what my life's been into. That's what I've been digging myself into these last few months. Been great work. It's been great work for me, spiritually. Been great work for me, physically. Yeah, I mean, it was very hard work. It's very, very hard work. Like, I never understood like when people would say, I mean, I guess I kind of understood, but when people would say things like, oh man, it's just like a heavy energy. Like, I can't really be around people like that so much because, it just drains my energy. You've heard people say that, like super introverted people. And being around this sort of heavy dumping, this purging of energies that people are going through week after week after week, it's super, super dense and heavy, and it really does get attached to you. People's emotions, as they purge them out, it gets you get attached to their stories, and you get attached to their emotions, and it's a real roller coaster to be in this constant whirlwind of healing. The real shamanic world, like these shamans, man, take on so much energy from people. And many people around the world have recognized the power of the shamanic path. I mean, it's the oldest religions. People exploring the plants and realizing, oh my God, there's a whole dimension in some of these plants. Some of these plants speak, and they give you vision. It's all in the Bible. It's everywhere. Everywhere you look, you can find this. It's the hidden truth. It's the hidden truth that that this planet is alive, and that there's really, in the same way that we are intelligent creatures that feel in a sense of I-ness, and we communicate with each other. There's a whole other species and worlds that do this on this world. And the thing is about the shamanic path is that it works for everyone. I've said it before, but it's the truth. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you believe in. You spend a month with some of these shamans, man, and they'll blow your freaking pants off. So if you want to keep your pants on, then I guess you just got to go to work. Because I think that there's something happening in the world where all our pants are going to get blown off in our lifetime. For sure, there's going to be some crazy stuff that happens in our lifetime. Psychedelics becoming legal, spirituality becoming sort of trendy, but I wouldn't necessarily consider that such a bad thing. Even if it's sort of a surface level understanding of some of these spiritual concepts, it's putting it into the atmosphere. It's going to marinate in people. And eventually these people, these TikTok trends, these kids are going to grow up, and some of them might take it serious. I just hired, a manager. I just hired a manager, boys and ladies, beautiful women and lads out there. I have a manager now, I think. Well, I really do. I've been sick these past few days, so I don't, I still got to really, I haven't talked to him as much as I should. But his name is Alessio, and he's going to be helping me out. He's going to be helping me with all kinds of stuff. Just keeping me organized and, helping me with a TikTok. And I got banned on TikTok for showing the frog poison, for rubbing frog poison into my arm in the jungle. So we got to rebuild the TikTok. We got to try to get some more podcast guests. That's what he's going to help me get some more podcast guests. I'm going to, build a website. Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff. Lots of exciting stuff, stuff that I needed to get done, but I'm just like, it's really hard for one person to do it. And I never wanted to give in and get help, but it's going to be an interesting journey, We'll see how it all turns out. So, yeah, anyways, this is my life. I'm sorry to just dump all my problems onto you guys like this, but this is what I've been up to. And I met the real Mama Coco. The real Mama Coco in Michoacan, in Michoacan, and outside Morelia or something. Santa Fe de Laguna. And it's the real Mama Coco. You seen the movie Coco? Well, when Pixar was going around Mexico snapping pictures of people, they stopped here at Senora Salud at her casa, snapped some pictures of her, and then there you go. You got Mama Coco. Looks just like her. She was really cool. She was 107 years old, and she just told me she used to live in Texas, and that she thought it was cool that I was from America and I was visiting, and yeah, it was cool. It was really nice to meet her. Very sweet, old, energetic woman for 107. Like, man, I hope I have that energy at 107. Super cool. Hung out with the Wiraricas. What else? Yeah, I mean, Mexico's just been my life this past year. It's been my home, basically. Been doing lots of work there and lots of self-work and writing a lot. And yeah, I mean, met a bunch of beautiful people. Blue. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Adam Roa. He's a poet. He came to Arcana. He was really cool. And during the ceremony, he read one of his poems, and it was like super powerful for me. Blue, if you guys know Blue, she changed her Instagram name to Blue of Earth. So shout out to that. But me and Blue have we got a lot of we've been talking a lot, and we got a lot of really interesting plans that I think will work, and a lot of really cool stuff is been happening because of this this spiritual center, Arcana. I got to meet a lot of really interesting people these past few months, and yeah, I'm excited. So me and Blue will probably do a podcast here, so you guys will get to meet her, and yeah, same with the other people that I met. Shout out to all the new homies, and shout Shout out to all the old homies and homies all around the world, wherever you're at. Remember those little dolls, little homie dolls? Shout out to those also. And that's my pathetic little life in a nutshell. Shout out to all the alien stuff that's going on right now. It's good to see that it's good to see that UFOs are real. I appreciate that. I appreciate the government for saying that UFOs are real. Who are they? What do they want? Oh, I need like an X-File. Or I need like the dun-dun. Like the Law and Order thing. Little buttons with the noises. Anyways. Yeah. What are these UFOs? I don't trust anything the U.S. government says. I don't mean to get all conspiratorial on you, but I think it's probably just an excuse to get more money to militarize space. I feel like that makes the most sense. They're just trying to raise some funding. Because you remember Trump, he was always like, the Space Force, we got to get the Space Force. And now this. And all of a sudden we have strange objects flying over the Atlantic Ocean and the military bases. Unmarked vehicles hovering around the oceans and our aircrafts. With technology unseen before. Technology that is worthy of concern if it's China or Russia or Korea, North Korea. I do hope it is aliens, but I don't trust anything this government says. There's always something else going on. It's always the opposite of what they say. But maybe not. Maybe it is real, and maybe they're aliens visiting planet Earth right now as we speak. They said they were looking at them all the time. That these things are flying over the oceans every day. That radars are picking these things up. And they go in and out of the water. They leave no exhaust or anything like that. No signature saying that this is a vehicle flying around right here. No mommies away. No freaking mommies. So yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for aliens, personally. That's what I hope it is. But it's probably not aliens like we think. I don't think aliens can I don't think aliens are biological. I think all species eventually become technological species. And they, because you can't really use your body to fly through through space. You know how fucked up all those astronauts get? They come back with their all bones. They're like, they come back like Benjamin Button. It's rough going through space. It's like, imagine the pressure of the deep ocean. Our bodies just don't belong down there. Our bodies just don't belong in space. So, naturally, we are going to progress into a species, an animal that is a technological animal. That's what we're doing right now. We're cocooning ourselves to come out the other end as this technological butterfly that will fly into space. And we won't be biological because, the whole point of evolution is to ensure your survival. Why are we building technology so much? Why are we doing it for? What is the purpose that our species has this instinctual drive to innovate and to make technology in the same way that an apple tree has this instinctual drive to create apples? We do this with technology. We fruit technology. Or in the same way, ants build anthills, or bees cultivate honey in their hives. We cultivate the realm of creativity and bring it into the material world. We pluck these ideas out of the cloud of the collective consciousness, out of the muse, out of the strangeness, peculiarity that we found ourselves in. And we bring it here. We bring it and we manifest it in the form of laptops, or in the form of pornography, or in the form of virtual reality, or whatever. Like, I'll just drop that in there. I've given up on porn. It's bad business. But you know what I mean, right? Maybe you don't, because I kind of forgot what we're talking about. Oh, look, my laptop's going to, or not my laptop, but my camera's going to die. So anyways, this is a Place for Humans podcast. I feel like I just had a mental breakdown on camera because I don't remember what I said. I feel like my ego is already fighting it off. You know, like when you tell those stories and there's just no connection and you end up at some different conclusion and you're just like, oh, sorry, I don't even know how we got here. That's feeling my whole life is that experience. So, you know, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this podcast. Thank you to you for watching this podcast. My name is Dakota. You can follow me over at Instagram at Dakota Wint, also on where else? Twitter and other places. Just type in my name, Dakota Wint, and I'll be your homie. Okay. Yeah, it's 11 a.m. Got the day started. And I hope wherever you're at in the world that you realize that it's all temporary and can be taken really quick. So today is your day. It's your day. Here you are. Do it. Whatever you want to do, start working towards it. You know what I decided? I decided I'm going to go do some writing in Africa for my book and do some journaling and help doing some social projects in Africa, Uganda and Ethiopia. And, you know, with Blue is going to help. And yeah. I forgot where I was going with that too. Oh yeah, it's your day. Start working towards it. I started working towards it. Each and every day I've been, even if it's just a visual sort of, you know, like what people talk about, like just imagine it and, you know, imagine you already have it. I just do that sometimes. And I'm saving actual money for it. And each little job I do or each little bit of income I have, a portion of it goes to making this dream possible. So, you know, every day while you're here, if you have a dream, you can make it. I'm sorry for giving you this goddamn TED Talk. What the fuck am I talking about? All right, peace out, you guys. A Place for Humans podcast. It's your boy, D. Wint Tizzle, and I'm out.